And good morning. Welcome back as we continue to remember 9/11. A live look at Lower Manhattan as the 9/11 families gather this morning. The dignitaries you see on your screen there. Governor Murphy, front of your screen. You can see Mayor Bloomberg off to the right, Mayor de Blasio in the background. Jerry Nadler on your screen there as well. A number of dignitaries gathering as we get set to begin in honor of those lost at about 8:40 this morning. And good morning as we welcome you back. I'm Chris Raggi.
And I'm Mary Calvi. Our special coverage is streaming live on CBS News New York and on our website, cbsnewyork.com. The commemoration ceremony is set to begin in about 10 minutes. During the ceremony, the names of the thousands of lives lost will be read out loud. There will also be 6 moments of silence to signify when the plane struck and when the towers fell. After the moment of silence at 8:46 a.m., church bells will ring across the city. The ceremony is expected to conclude around 12:30.
Now, we've been watching families and dignitaries arrive all morning long for about the last hour and a half or so. CBS 2's Dick Brennan live in Lower Manhattan to begin our coverage. Dick?
Well, Chris and Mary, they have indeed been arriving here, and let's just take a live look behind me. This is the plaza area. This is an extraordinary memorial here, and it means so much to the people who come here. I've spoken to so many of them, not only today but through the years, and to have their loved one's name on this memorial, to be able to touch it, to be able to feel it, to be able to leave a flower, to be able to leave a flag. I can't tell you how many people have told me how much that means to them. I mean, we've all lost loved ones in our lives, but for the people who suffered through 9/11, it was public, it was extraordinary, and every year they say it's a reminder. Some say it's a good reminder in a sense that they will never forget. Others say it brings back the pain, but hopefully this morning that feeling of connection, the feeling that they feel their loved one again. That's what one woman said to me. I feel that connection every 9/11, and that means so much. Now, let's just show you some pictures. Some dignitaries are arriving this morning, coming through here, paying their respects. That's very important to this city, the rebuilding of this city. We've seen so much go on, and I have to tell you, we spoke with Alice Greenwald this morning, who's the president of the 9/11 Memorial Museum, and she talked about this area here in Lower Manhattan. On the one hand, it is a memorial. On the other hand, it's a public place. People come and go. So there's that extraordinary blend that they have to bring together. The idea that on the one hand, people can mourn, but on the other hand, people can say, okay, life goes on, and that is the trickiest part of the memorial. 9/11 is a day that we all remember, but we also remember that the city goes on, life goes on. Chris and Mary.
All right, Dick, thank you very much. And we also see Vice President Kamala Harris also on the scene as well this morning. Dick, thank you. Now, across the Hudson, 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony underway in Jersey City.
CBS 2's Alice Gaynor is there live with more. Alice, good morning.
Good morning, Chris and Mary. This ceremony here in Jersey City is set to take place in just a few minutes, actually. I'm going to go ahead and show you. We've got dignitaries here. We've got Jersey City Mayor Stephen Phillip, who we talked to a short time ago. Now, here in Jersey City, 38 residents were killed. But today, the mayor told us they actually added one other name to that list, so it is 39. A family member had come forward, so that person's name and photo has been added to the program. We've got firefighters from Jersey City here. They're about to bring the color guard in, and bagpipers are here as well. We're going to hear from family members of those killed. Earlier this morning when we first arrived here, I noticed one lone firefighter, a Jersey City firefighter here. He worked for United when 9/11 happened. He's been a Jersey City firefighter now, though, for 17 years. He said it was so important to come here today, and seeing so many of his fellow men and women suffering from the effects of working at Ground Zero, having breathing issues today, it just makes it all too real, even 21 years later. Here's what he had to say.
Many Jersey City firemen, Hoboken firemen, Bayonne firemen went over and they helped. And they're feeling the effects of it. And they have breathing problems. And I think that makes it more real that, you know what, that one day all those people passed away, but we're still feeling the ramifications of that.
So hard to believe it's been 21 years. Bagpipers just started. I want to go ahead and have my cameraman Don pan over so you can take a listen as we sign off here from Jersey City, where this 9/11 remembrance ceremony is set to begin.
All right, Alice Gaynor for us in Jersey City. Alice, thank you very much. Now, all these years later, the memories of that tragic day still fresh on all of our minds.
Our own Marsha Kramer covered the attacks, joins us now to share her experience. And we were just talking about the resiliency of the city and what it took to bring us past that day.
Well, you know, we just saw pictures of then Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who became mayor just 3 months after the attack. And I think what few people remember is what he had to do in order to bring everything together, to rebuild the discussions about what kind of a memorial we were going to have, the reflecting pools, what kind of buildings to build. And it was him also working with Governor George Pataki, who was also there, to decide all the different things that you were going to do, whether it was going to be big buildings, small buildings. At one point, actually, former Donald Trump suggested rebuild the towers exactly where they were, but just in the other opposite way. Yeah. So there were all of these ideas.
And I remember there was all that talk about just keeping it as grass.
Right.
You know, nothing on
Right.
that land as well.
So a lot of opinions, a lot of pain, a lot of people who wanted to have to say that's Michael Bloomberg, that he was not talking to the vice president. But, you know, to think about all those decisions and also running the city and coming back from the financial loss. You know, the financial markets were closed. We had people out of work for months and months because of it. And he was the man who had to make the decisions that brought people back to the city, that brought, you know, to decide what kind of memorial, whether the firefighters were going to be remembered separately. You'll remember there was at one point they wanted a separate memorial for the firefighters. And so a lot of political decisions, but a lot of important things that were done. And take a look at it now. You know, I go down there every once in a while, and I am amazed by what has happened down there. You know, it's a vibrant community. More people are living there than ever before.
The whole process from again, what we were talking about in its infancy when they were trying to figure out, I mean, it took years to figure out what they were going to do, working in conjunction with Larry Silverstein and just all of the dynamics down there and the square footage alone. I mean, the one thing that has always kind of taken me aback, having been down there during the rebuilding and seeing like One World Trade Center, having an opportunity to go up there and watch them jump 2 floors every 2 weeks and the work that was done down there. The one thing they told me as I talked to a number of the workers down there over the years, like, Chris, I don't think what a lot of people don't understand is as tall as One World Trade is, the square footage of as tall as that is, take that building, lay it on its side, and that's the square footage that we have been building underground before we could even start the build-up process. This was such a labor-intensive process, not only with the subways and the refortification of the ground below. He said this just is something that was inconceivable.
And when you go to the memorial and you see the slurry wall, which is the wall, you know, and it's right there, and all the work, you know, most of the memorial museum is underground. And so just rebuilding that and the decisions in terms of that. You know, one of the things when I go to the museum, 2 fire trucks are there. And, you know, it's funny when you walk by them, there's the smell from 9/11, it's still there.
Still there.
The smell of the toxics and the burning is still, I mean, because I was the pool reporter, I remember it. And to see the fact that, you know, the fire department has rebuilt itself, and Ground Zero has rebuilt itself, and the thousands of decisions that were made to bring that to fruition. And Mayor Giuliani was talking about the other day about how more people live in Lower Manhattan now than ever before, so the whole area has been rejuvenated.
It would have been inconceivable if we thought about it back then.
No, I mean, people were leaving.
Years later.
People who even lived in Battery Park couldn't get back into their buildings for months.
We're just moments away from starting the ceremony in Lower Manhattan. As you can see, the first responders lined up, the bell to the right of your screen there, which will ring for the moments of silence over the next course of the next hour or so. But again, the dignitaries have been in place. We've seen the Vice President, Kamala Harris, speaking with Mayor Bloomberg, who we've been talking about here with the last couple of minutes, with Marsha Kramer lined up along with Mayor Adams, former Mayor de Blasio, a number of dignitaries, again, on hand for this 21st year since these terror attacks in Lower Manhattan.
Again, the commemoration ceremony just about to start, and during that ceremony, the names of the thousands of lives lost will be read out loud. 6 moments of silence to signify when the plane struck, when the towers fell. After the moment of silence at 8:46 coming up, church bells will ring across the city as we take a look at the crowds that have gathered there this morning, 21 years later.
Memorial will open up again later on this afternoon at 3 o'clock for passersby and well-wishers to come in and again experience what's been going on in Lower Manhattan here today. So emotional for the families. We talk, especially on the 20th anniversary last year, of just what a commemorative moment that was. Now here, you're 21, but still, these are wounds that cut deep for these families that come back here each and every year. Place a flower along the reflecting pools, or just come to, again, as Dick mentioned before, it almost gives people a sense of comfort to come and feel as though they're with their loved ones once again for just a few moments. We talk about the rebuilding of Lower Manhattan. You talk about what a brilliant memorial and a brilliant commemoration it is to those souls that were lost on 9/11, those reflecting pools, just the sound of the water. It kind of lends to, as I mentioned, kind of giving people comfort when they come by to pay their respects.
We're pausing moments to take a look at the pictures. There's a T-shirt there. Some are holding posters. Never forgetting. New York and the nation pausing to honor all of the lives lost today. The crowds are gathered still. 21 years later, they have come. We're seeing Governor Murphy, former Governor Pataki there, former Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Mayor Adams, Vice President Kamala Harris, as the ceremonies are about to begin.